Hi, this is Randall here in Texas.
And I'm Matt, here in Michigan. Today, Randall and I are reviewing a movie that's now out in theaters and on HBO Max. It's The Little Things. It stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. It is written and directed by John Lee Hancock, who's also known for The Blind Side, The Rookie, The Highwaymen, and Saving Mr. Banks. Now, before we continue, if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also, hit subscribe to see more of our videos.
The Little Things being a new film, very nice to watch, something different, starring Denzel Washington as former LA detective Joe Deacon, who is working as a Kent County deputy when he is forced to travel to LA to pick up evidence for a case. While in LA, he becomes wrapped up in a mystery string of new murders that are very similar to a case that he could not solve while he was a detective. It's had mixed reviews from critics and kind of ho hum reviews from your average viewer. I'm kind of in the ho hum right now, but I'm kind of curious, Matt. What did you think about The Little Things?
I'm right there with you. I think this is another one of those movies that's just okay. I think this movie had me invested in it going at least through the first half of the movie, but I kind of lost interest of where this movie was going in the second half, especially in the third act.
Yeah, the third act is where it kind of just starts falling apart a little bit, which was disappointing. I was invested. I was very much interested in how things are going to turn out, what's going to happen, and I was really invested, being that it was so character driven. We've watched so many movies, and so many new movies are so heavily plot driven that I'm like, all right, we have some interesting characters, and then it just kind of ends up being kind of at the end.
I think our actors did a good job, especially Denzel Washington and Malik and stuff in this movie. The only problem was these characters to me felt a little bit too familiar. A lot of themes and stuff in this movie were a little bit too familiar. It's not like we were really seeing Denzel Washington, Malik, or Leto in like characters we haven't seen from them before. It's kind of like, oh, we've seen you guys do similar stuff to that, so keep on doing what you do.
keep on doing what you do. But I'll tell you, it is based in 1990, which is interesting because I love me some nostalgic cars, but it's one of those movies where you had to place it kind of in the pre-cell phone era, because if you put this in the modern era, it wouldn't work at all, because its plot is based on the idea that someone can't just easily call the cops or can't just easily take pictures or video, or have GPS location, like all of the stuff that we take for granted. That's the only real reason that the story even works, is because of the time period it's taking place in.
Yeah, I like a lot of part of the story we were talking about at the first half. A lot of it going on. We know that something happened with Denzel Washington's character earlier and stuff, and they kind of hint throughout the movie like, what could that be? What could be that thing? Why was he this promising LA detective and now he's just some deputy at some nearby county and stuff that's not LA County. So that definitely was part of that kept me invested in this movie, but I was a little bit disappointed on where that went.
The slow burn aspect of this film was fun for me. I kept wondering a lot about Denzel's character and wondering why and what happened. And I get that he's a big shot LA detective who was a consummate overworker and he almost killed himself trying to solve a case. That's all fine, but like, how does it connect? Does it connect? All of those little things, were what kept me watching the film, and really just thought the third act could have used more polishing, and then it would have probably worked out really well. It's just really the way it ends that left me let down, because I liked everything up to like the conclusion, really.
And a lot of times we talk about our characters and do they make decisions that make sense for the characters. I don't know about you, but for me that's kind of what got me in that third act.
That's one of the things that got me. But one of the things about the characters in this particular thing is they fall back onto a really bad trope about police and detectives and really law enforcement in general. Good cops or good police officers doing bad things. anything you find and any evidence you find is inadmissible because of how you got it, basically. And I'm like, I didn't like seeing that trope return. I'm like, movies need to get away from that. You can't go into, an interrogation room and push a suspect up against a wall. You can't go into someone's house without a warrant. You can't do these things. I don't care if you're doing it for the right reasons. That's not the point. The point is, it's wrong. So I wasn't happy to see that.
This is one of those movies that they've been trying to make, I think, since like the 90s and stuff too. So I wonder if some of those story elements just are like carryovers from a different time. Maybe a little bit different if a movie had been made, 25 or so years ago. But another thing about this movie that I wasn't, too big of a fan of, I've read that Steven Spielberg didn't want to go on and do this film because it was like too dark and stuff. And there is definitely some graphic parts in this movie, but I don't think they went fully in on that. Like, we have these graphic elements, but to me, they didn't really add anything to the film. The film didn't go that route and go to like a more darker, more suspenseful thing. So to me, it was kind of weird that we have these graphic images and stuff included in this movie.
The only thing that really worked for me graphics-wise was, you can really see that Denzel's character Deacon has this, more or less he's haunted by his past. And that worked for me. And the way that they set that up. But a lot of the other graphic stuff is just there because, which doesn't do the film very much service.
Me, like I said, generally I thought this movie was okay. I thought the actors did a pretty decent job. It's one of those half and half movies. I really enjoyed half the movie, but not so much the other half of the movie.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll go one better. It's a 3/4 film for me. The acting's really, really well done by all people, even like the, cursier actors that are on the peripheral. Our leads are very good. Denzel Washington's good. Rami Malek's good. Jared Leto's as ugly as he's ever been. I kept thinking that throughout the film. Like, man, they had to try real hard to make Jared this ugly, didn't they? He's a handsome man. Again, right up until the third act, I was really invested. I was happy to be watching this character-driven film, and then the ending's just so disappointing. So 3/4 good for me.
Well, Rachel and I want to know what you guys think about this movie. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you think about our review. We have new movie reviews come out every Monday and Thursday. On Facebook, we will post a day before our new videos come out to let you know what the next topic is going to be. For now, I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. See everyone in the next one.
Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.